even if he took a bath in our bath creek that evening. At first, I thought it might help to add another bed in the kids' sleeping quarters. It helped a little, but Cain would usually wait until the others left the room before he would get up in the mornings. He was becoming withdrawn and distant, wanting privacy but not asking for it using words like a mature human being. He resorted to angry glares and grunts like Dad. Since Bo was more talkative than Cain or Dad, I asked him one morning at breakfast before he went to work, "Is Cain sleeping any better since he had has his own bed?" "It's hard to say," Bo shrugged. "But I think he's having some nightmares and wet in the bed, and that's why he wakes up all scared. Then he waits for the rest of us to leave the room, giving us the mean stare and growling at us until we leave. I tell you, Abel, he's acting weird. I think he needs his own room." "Huh," I sighed. "I see. What's it like working around him in the field?" Bo smiled. "Oh, work isn't so bad. I'm usually around Dad for most of the day. Cain knows what he's doing out in the field, so he does most of his work several running steps away from Dad and me. And that's a good thing, too. He stinks of heavy sweat, even before working out there too long. And he's got this red bumpy rash on his face around here." He outlined with his pointer fingers from the top of his forehead around his face to below his chin. "And a little here in the middle." He pointed to his chin, nose, and between his eyes. "Did he eat something weird?" I wondered. Bo shrugged. "I don't know. But can I tell you a secret?" My eyes widened. "Of course." Bo continued. "I've seen Cain go off to the middle of the cornfield by himself, and he just screams. I only know that because I followed him at a safe distance, since he takes a sickle with him, and he swings that at anything that moves and a few things that don't move. I got myself out of there as fast as I could. Cain just seems mad at everyone these days, and I don't know what we did." I wondered. I don't know what to make of that. But if you don't feel safe around him by yourself, take Dad with you. That day, I decided to take my sheep to graze in the pasture near the cornfield. If Cain repeated this strange behavior, maybe I would see for myself. Sure enough, a little after noon, one of the dogs started barking. "What is it, Betty, old girl?" I asked the dog, as she seemed to be looking in the direction of the cornfield. I could hear an odd screaming sound. It sounded kind of like Cain, but like he had something wrong with his throat. After ensuring that the sheep would be all right, I grabbed my staff and ran into the direction of the screaming in case my brother was in danger. When I got closer, I saw that Cain had a pile of ears of corn, and he was beating down on it with his fists. At least he set down his sickle, but it was next to him in case he needed it. Kind of like, let's see, got a picture of it. Here it is. Here's a picture of Cain beating down on corn, and Abel and Betty watching him. Okay, I got closer. I saw that Cain had a pile of ears of corn. He was beating down on it with his fists. At least he set down his sickle, but it was next to him in case he needed it. When it looked like he was taking a break from beating the corn, he just stretched out over the pile to catch a breath. He was still a few steps away from me. Big bro, is everything all right? I asked. He actually jumped in surprise. What are you doing here? I thought I was alone. He still seemed like he wanted it that way, giving me a bit of an angry glare. I blinked. Oh, you came out here because you wanted to be alone, right? He nodded, so I continued. Oh, sorry to bother you. I was in the pasture just in the next clearing and I heard you screaming. I thought you were in danger, and so did Betty. I motioned to the dog at my side. We could just leave. I turned to leave, but felt like I should stay a little longer, just in case he needed to talk to a friend about anything. Unless there's anything else you want to tell me. Huh? Cain just looked at me. I walked over to him, giving him a reassuring pat on the right shoulder. Cain, big bro, you know I'm here for you if you ever want to talk. I smiled up at him, despite that from this close to him, I could now smell his sweaty stench that Bo had described. And since when did he get an entire head and shoulders taller than me? How did I not notice that until now? Alright. Aches, I guess. Cain blinked in surprise. To take the attention off Cain for a moment, I glanced at the pile of ears of corn that he was beating earlier. And if the corn ever bothers you again, just come get me, and together we'll show it who's boss. I don't let lions mess with my sheep, and I sure don't let corn mess with my brother. Cain started to laugh. He sat down cross-legged on the ground. Thanks, little bro. I was just releasing some inner rage that tends to build up when working long enough around Dad. I sat down next to him. Inner rage? Cain groaned. Yeah, for some reason, I just get mad more easily these days. I'm tired in the mornings and I'm so hungry all the time. And working too close to Dad just brings out the worst in me. I come out here to the cornfield to scream and let out the rage. I blinked. I haven't heard you screaming that much, but your voice sounds pretty raw right now. Like you've been screaming for days. Does your throat hurt? Only a few moments after screaming. Cain shrugged. But right now it doesn't hurt. But I know I still sound weird. I don't know what's going on there. My voice has been doing that even before I had the fits of rage and angry outbursts and screaming. But so far, you're probably the only person I've talked to about this.